Crunker's Cruncher presents WWE Wrestlemania 20, where it all begins again.
What's going on? Welcome back to Retro. You love that song. You know you love hearing it. So it's never going to get old because it's WrestleMania season. And once again, I am back. I'm your host, Mr. A&D, back to give you more WWE WrestleMania reviews. And today, we are where it all begins again. WrestleMania 20. That was the tagline. Vince McMahon started WrestleMania the first time, and then they had Shane McMahon coming in and at the opening of the show, and then they had his grandson, where it all begins again. So that was the theme of it. And right now, to help me review this extremely long show of WrestleMania, because this was the first really long WrestleMania, is not Deion Sanders, but Prime Time.
What's up, everybody? I'm not Prime Tizzle the damn, just Prime.
Okay, so we have WrestleMania 20. This is in Madison Square Garden, where it all begins again, because the first WrestleMania was in Madison Square Garden, and people thought, hey, well, why don't we do every 10 years in the Garden? Don't know what happened to WrestleMania 30, but it was cool where it was at because it was kind of like in New York the year before that. But right now we're at WrestleMania 20. Now people were complaining about WrestleMania 32 and how long it was, right? I agree. But this was the first WrestleMania that was 5 hours long.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, this WrestleMania was long. And besides, this is before they had a pre-show. So I do understand people's frustration last year because you got a 2-hour pre-show and then you got a 5-hour show, which is a 7 hours. It's a whole work day.
Yeah, and we so dumb. We sit there and watch the whole thing.
You gotta sit there in them seats and watch the whole thing. And if you get up, you're gonna miss something. And it's just a lot going on. But I have a feeling that WrestleMania 33 is going to be a long show too, because this is the only time I look at this card. Even if you put 4 matches on the pre-show, you still have a double-digit match card.
Well, some people gonna have to move to the Saturday Night Heat.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. I'm just saying, but this is probably one of the WrestleManias that had some of the most matches on there, such as, like, in the late 80s, early 90s, they used to do that a lot, have like 14 match card, and some matches would just be like a minute or squash matches or something of that nature. So they never got time to develop. But you know what? We're in retro. Why are we talking about the present? We need to talk about the past. So WrestleMania 20 opens up with the Harlem Boys Choir from Harlem, of course, and they sing America the Beautiful in a very pleasant way. Vince has, all them nice, African American kids come out there and sing that song. Y'all go ahead.
African Americans.
Yeah, and Madison Square Garden, and we are off to the races for WrestleMania 20. They don't come out from the usual Madison Square Garden side. They actually come down from this whole new entrance that they made. So let's go into one of the biggest WrestleManias, and we start off with the United States Championship match between John Cena and Big Show. Yes, John Cena in an opening match facing for United States Championship. This is the Doctor of Thugonomics, John Cena.
Yeah.
John Cena just got a babyface turn. People are feeling him, especially after 2003 when he subbed in for Chris Benoit's Survivor Series team against, Brock Lesnar's team, and Cena has become a face ever since. The fans have liked him. So, especially in 2004, they were feeling him. So right now, Cena's going up against the Big Show. And the match was pretty solid. Cena was not the greatest of wrestlers, and Big Show was kind of slow at it. But, Cena's a fan favorite. Cena uses his padlock chain to hit the Big Show, picks him up, shows some massive strength again. Because at this time, Cena wasn't just picking up big guys back then. So when he did something like that, it was actually special. And Cena was smaller back then too.
Yeah, that was before them weights.
I'm sorry. I can believe a lot of people take roids, but I'm not believing Cena took roids.
Whatever he doing.
I'm sorry. There's a lot like Ryback. I got you, but I don't know. Cena don't like a reward guy.
Gender is like a 100%.
Dude, I don't know what gender is on, but you know what?
We can confirm that, right?
Yeah, we can confirm that. But you know what? Like I said, let's get out the present. Right back then, John Cena was small, and when he picked these big guys up, his left leg was kind of turned inward. I'm like, I have a fear that you're gonna break that leg by how you picking up these guys. But Cena picks up Big Show. Attitude adjustments him 1, 2, 3. You knew United States Championship.
That was not the attitude adjustment back then. You already know.
Exactly, it was the FU. Back then. Michael
Cole said FU.
So Cena wins the United States Championship. What is your thoughts on the match prime time?
I thought it was a smart way how he won, because he had 2 chains up there. And he threw one chain, let the referee go get it, while he just took the other chain and punched Big Show with it. So
exactly, that was smart. I enjoyed that creativity by John Cena. Of course, after that we get the spinner belt. So
yeah, well, everything can't last forever.
I know we get something from the deal. Next up we have a fatal 4-way for the World Tag Team Championships.
Oh, can we just skip this?
Now here's the thing. Now these matches were not good because we had the same thing for the Smackdown Championships as well. This was Booker T and RVD when they had that tag team. La Resistance. Mark Jindrak and Garrison Cade and the Dudley Boys.
The Dudleys deserve better.
The Dudleys
deserve better, and RVD deserve better.
Yeah, I don't give a damn about La Resistance, Mark Jindrak, or Garrison Cade. Rest his soul. So
Mark Jindrak shouldn't even be on it. You know what? I'm not gonna go.
No. He should not have been on the card. You right? This is a prime example of trying to get people on the card.
Oh man. I feel like that kind of match is like stuff that's happening now.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that needs to be on the pre-show. Or don't even need to be on the card at all. Pre-show or regular card, doesn't matter. But Booker T and RVD win this match in only about 6 minutes. So it was nothing really exciting or noteworthy here on this matchup. What was noteworthy, though, is how best friends have turned on each other. That does sound familiar, doesn't it?
Dun, dun, dun.
Best friends turning on each
Jericho
other.
like that best friend angle.
Yeah, they keep reaching to the well for that. So we have Chris Jericho goes up against Christian because they were tag team in 2002, 2003, and then they had a little riff, and Christian turned his back on Jericho. And Jericho at the time had a little crush on Trish Stratus. A
little.
Yeah, I'm about to say, you know how the Canadians get down. Back then, Trish Stratus was looking.
Don't nobody have a little crush on Trish back then when them implants.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, and them little medium shirts, I'm just like, man, I want to eat her ass alive. You know what I'm saying? Mickey James, I feel you. You lucky. So, the match is pretty good. This match got about 14 minutes to tell a good story, and Christian and Jericho really put on a good match. Trish Stratus looks like she's coming down to help Jericho, but then it has a wild slap on Jericho. The slap was really, really wild. And then Christian hits the Unprettier or the Impaler, whatever year it is, whatever way he's going to say.
That's
and
the Unprettier year.
Yeah. Pins Chris Jericho, 1, 2, 3. Christian takes Trish Stratus up on the stage and pulls her by her hair. I mean, pulls the fuck out of her hair. And I'm just like, and she all smiling. I'm just like, I am weirdly turned on by this. Because Trish Stratus, it just turned me on. And she like the hair pulling, little freak ass. And she makes out with Christian at the top. And, she starts, wiping
Jericho
her lips and everything.
Looks...
Yeah. She started wiping her lips and everything. I'm just like, oh my God. Well, Trish, you sure know how to kiss a man on stage, don't you? Yeah, you sure do.
Is this the part after you get Jericho and Trish segment where he's like, what did he say? It was basically he was just calling her a slut and stuff.
Oh yeah, but I think that was afterwards because she just turned heel on her. I was just like, damn.
He was like, I just had to put my foot in my mouth, but that's not compared to stuff you've been putting in yours in.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm gonna step up in line back then because Trish Stratus back then, and she wasn't even on the card. But you know what? Turned me on, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's Trish Stratus was at the top of her game at that time. She wasn't even on the card, but she was in a segment. This is how they need to be booking people like this. You don't have to put everybody on the card because everybody's not going to make it. But So then we get a segment with The Rock piping up Mick Foley, talk about some, you know what, The Rock came back to help Mick Foley. Everybody here chanting Mick Foley. Everybody's chanting Foley. He goes out and he shows, from the hallway. Everybody is chanting Mick Foley. That he comes past the Hurricane and the superhero in training, aka Roman Reigns' brother, and says, he said, "Look, it's the Hamburglar. Put the chicken nugget away. Go get some of a hamburger, you fat son bitch."
Get a hamburger.
Yeah, he called him the hamburger. He said, "Put chicken over. Why don't you get a hamburger, you fat son bitch?" Oh no, he said, "Put the hamburger away. Why don't you try some chicken nuggets, you fat son bitch?"
Man, The Rock is just cold sometimes.
So I was rolling when he said that. So they was really boosted up for the Rock and Sock Connection versus the three members of Evolution: Ric Flair, Batista, and Randy Orton. So obviously this came off the heels of Mick Foley once again, the typical angle, always getting worked over, no respect whatsoever, and
more like messed up being hardcore match.
Yeah, and then Randy Orton disrespects him by, this is back in the day when Randy Orton used to do Hulk spits. Yo, man, that should be gross. That should be gross. Yeah. I'm like, and he caught Mick Foley good right down the side of his cheek and then kicked him down the steps. I'm like, no, I'm gonna fuck you up when this camera go off. And you know what? I'm gonna fuck you up when the camera's on. So, and then they Batista powerbomb him backstage. So Mick Foley calls The Rock from Hollywood for somebody to help him out. So we get a 2-on-1 handicap match. And to be honest with you, The Rock has never missed a beat. He has his little goatee. I didn't like The Rock with the goatee. I'm not even gonna lie to you. The Rock with the goatee was weird. But I really enjoyed it. It was also a decent match, but more funny when Batista took The Rock down with the Batista spine buster. Ric Flair goes to set up for the people's elbow, and Ric Flair is taking he is strutting his old ass, and he do the little stop against the ropes, comes up to The Rock, jumps over him, does the Ric Flair walk again, stops on the ropes, and then The Rock kicks up, and then he starts doing the slaps to Ric Flair. Then he started doing the Ric Flair walk and slaps him down and gives the Ric Flair a spine buster. He does the people's elbow and he finishes it with the most awkward looking Ric Flair walk and does the people.
The Rock's Ric Flair walk is not even like a Ric Flair walk. It's more like it's more like a. I don't even know how to explain it. It's like somebody with Down syndrome or somebody with. That look like how John Cena would do it now.
Exactly. It look like somebody. It's so stiff. Somebody with like either, I hate to say it, like a special ed or a retarded person imitating Ric Flair and just rock the score and they're like ho ho ho. It was just like it just looked bad. That was a funny moment, but then of course The Rock gets taken out. And Mick Foley gets outnumbered, and then out of nowhere, this is when we start doing RKOs out of nowhere. Literally, Mick Foley's about to pick up Randy Orton for the Manimal Claw. Then out of nowhere, Randy Orton hits the RKO. 1, 2, 3. Mick Foley kicks out after the 3 count, and thinking that he misheard the first count, so he thought he only heard 2. So obviously, they didn't want to make Mick Foley look extremely weak. I mean, what were they doing the weeks before? But it's WrestleMania. They want to look weak. The Rock is obviously irate that he came all the way back from Hollywood and Mick Foley fucked it all up again. But he celebrates with Mick Foley in the ring, and Mick Foley was legitimately happy that The Rock did come back for him. So, it's a great guy.
He said he was kind of sad that he gave The Rock his loss, though. Which he thought was going to be his last match.
Exactly, but I mean, it's all about booking. Excuse me. Okay, so next up is another match that we're going to pass that I didn't pay no attention to, was the evening gown match between Sable and Tori Wilson defeated Stacy Keibler and Miss Jackie. There was nothing noteworthy here. This was all about the whole Sable, Tori Wilson lesbian storyline. And I was just like, just fuck already. Because they only...
the guys like, yeah!
Yeah, I'm just like, because, I never thought Stacy Keibler was that attractive to me. I was always,
really.
I was always into Tori Wilson. Miss Jackie had too many hard features, and so did Sable. But you know what? And to be honest with you, though, Sable I guess turned me on a little when she was doing her stuff with Tori Wilson, opposed to what she was in 1999.
Mark Merrill.
Yeah, I'm saying so. This is the Brock Lesnar got you, Sable. So
Well, I mean.
So
this match, I kind of
So, well, yeah, nobody cared, so you didn't have to say anything. Next up, we have a very unique match, the Cruiserweight Open. Now, honestly, I hate to go back into the present right now doing this retro review, but I'm kind of hoping that they do this with the Smackdown Women's Championship instead of doing like that Diva Invitational they had at WrestleMania 30, where they had AJ Lee versus the World.
Like a championship scramble or something.
Oh God, here we. That would actually be kind of cool though. A championship scramble. We haven't seen one of them since 2008.
But a certain woman said that she could be back for WrestleMania, but
who?
Is that one of your favorites?
I swear it better not be Eva fucking Marie.
No, it's not even Marie.
Okay. Who?
Kelly.
The fuck? Done. Anyway, unless they bring back Victoria, then no. I'm hoping Naomi get cleared in time, but But anyway, the Cruiserweight Open is in this unique match. 2 cruiserweights start off, and then after a pinfall, another cruiserweight comes in. So it's like a gauntlet type match.
Like the match that SmackDown been having, the turmoil.
Yeah, kind of that with one-on-one with the cruiserweight. So, first off, to start off the match, because the champion going in is Chavo Guerrero.
With his dad.
Chavo Classic, rest in peace, who just passed away recently. Ultimo Dragon starts off with Shannon Moore. To this date, all the DVDs have edited out. But when it first happened, when I taped it, Ultimo Dragon slipped on his entrance. And he slipped pretty bad.
I seen that one.
He slipped pretty bad. His foot got caught in that cape. He said, whoop, whoop. It was just like, okay, we're going to exit that cape out. Versus Shannon Moore. Okay, so that exchange.
That's when he was green. That's when Shannon Moore was real green.
Exactly, and like I said, Ultimo Dragon made little work of him. Then ski. Jamie Noble came out, and he made little work of Ultimo Dragon. Then after Ultimo Dragon came out, Funaki came out, SmackDown #1 announcer. And this is back when the Japanese wrestlers weren't as good as they are today. Jamie Noble defeated Funaki, and then Nunzio came out. Was never a fan of Nunzio, but I was never a fan of FBI. I was never a fan of Nunzio at all.
Every time I think of Nunzio, I always think of John Cena when he rap battle FBI.
Yeah. Oh shit. Then after that, Jamie Noble defeated Nunzio. So Jamie Noble is on a little streak right here. And then comes the guy who has the song that does not match him at all. Billy Kidman comes out.
I can't even.
Oh, wait, no. Okay. Hey. You can run if you want to. But you can't hide. I was just like, that.
That's like, well, we got this one theme song here for you.
Yeah. I see you don't know who you fooling with. See, society, they label me a threat. I'm like, who? Kid? See?
Is this something we should know about, Kid?
Yeah, I'm about to say, you wake up with the streets with your clothes on, you wake up with your clothes off. See, I was like, wait a minute, Kidman. Because Kidman had that, he was part of that Filthy Animals group of WCW with Conan and Mysterio.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what the fuck? Well, Kidman does the shooting star press, almost misses it again, but to Jamie Noble. Then Rey Mysterio comes out to defeat Billy Kidman, and then Rey Mysterio has his little run going, and to Jerry comes out, and they have a nice little exchange. Rey Mysterio defeats to Jerry, and then we have Chavo Guerrero with Chavo Classic, and he cheats with the roll up and holds the ropes, and Rey Mysterio,
Did he like pull him when he holding on to his dad?
Yeah, some of that nature, yeah.
Okay.
And he beat Rey Mysterio to retain the Cruiserweight Championship. It was a very entertaining matchup. It only lasted about 11 minutes, so each person only got about 1 minute's worth of action in. Honestly, I think
they had to come in to get their stuff in real quick.
Exactly. I think this match would work better if it was like maybe about a shorter amount of people with about 15 minutes to actually work. That's what I'm kind of hoping.
Put that on the women. Natalia come in, clothesline, sharpshooter, they kick out.
But it's like I don't want that to happen to Alexa Bliss. I really want her, because honestly I would like Alexa Bliss to go all the way through. But we'll talk about that later. Next up is the match that everybody hates, and I will give my thoughts on it, but we're going to get it for a third time at this year's WrestleMania, and that is Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar. Now, let me just paint a picture for you guys. At this time, Goldberg was in shape. Goldberg wasn't just sweating after a bump, okay? Goldberg had his mask. Goldberg had everything, really. He just did not like what was going on with WWE. And I'm not saying Goldberg was a great match technician, but you can at least get a 10-minute to 13-minute match out of Goldberg in WWE than you could at WCW, which you can't even get a 2-minute match out of Goldberg today.
You know what? I just noticed something about Goldberg.
What?
What's the reason for him to have security? Just to look cool?
Well, see, back in WCW, he was like a legitimate threat. He was like, oh my God, we gotta, be around him so he won't go charging at nobody and destroy them. Well, now, since that's part of the whole Goldberg stick, the roar of Goldberg, they keep the security guards around him. So
now the security guards around for somebody that's going to attack him.
Exactly. Brock Lesnar had a similar upbringing in the wrestling in 2002, where he was undefeated, taking open head chair shots and smiling and looking sadistic and destroying the Hardys and Spike Dudley and the Hurricane.
Destroying is an understatement.
He really was. Dumb power bombs hurt.
Destroyed.
Yeah, he mollywopped all of them. He destroyed The Rock.
I think Jeff. He had something going with Jeff because he hurt him the most.
Oh yeah, I was just like that. He just hate Jeff Hardy. He destroyed Ric Flair. He destroyed Hulk Hogan. He destroyed The Rock.
That was sad. When he
yes.
did that.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan, The Rock, Undertaker. He had these names under his belt, and then all of a sudden, the Big Show beats him. Okay, but anyway,
you can't beat Hogan unless you do RKO over a car.
Exactly. He beat Kurt Angle. He has beaten the Big Show, but Brock Lesnar has an impressive resume. So him and Goldberg both have these resumes. So that's what it was looking like. And everybody was like, well, what if Goldberg fought Lesnar? Because they had these both kind of dominant upbringings in wrestling. And so they had to make Stone Cold Steve Austin a referee. Now, me at this time, I was a senior in high school. I wanted this match. I couldn't wait for this match. I could not wait for this matchup to come. I was just like, Vince McMahon said, we got to get the 52nd Airborne to come in here and stop Lesnar and Goldberg. But here's the thing. The rumor had that Goldberg was obviously, his contract was expiring. He only signed it for 1 year, so he was leaving. Brock already said that I'm going to face the Vikings. So he was leaving. Everybody knew that. And they knew that both guys were leaving, so they know who's going to put them over. And they both did not care about the match. Right?
Really didn't.
So we get a match where it's a lot of test of strength. First of all, there was about a 3-4 minute stare down. No bullshit.
Because they were just sitting there like, whew.
And then after the 3-minute stare down, we got another 3 or 4 minutes of test of strength. And
that's when the closer happens.
And then after finally, after 7-something minutes, we start taking some bumps. Goldberg hits his moves. I'm not talking about the spear and jackhammer people. Goldberg has other moves like the military press slam. Brock Lesnar was hitting the belly to bellies. He was hitting his strong clotheslines. People were doing his moves. Goldberg hits a spear on Lesnar. But then, Lesnar gets up from it and he hits another spear on Lesnar. Sounds familiar. And then hits a jackhammer on Brock Lesnar. 1, 2, 3. Goldberg wins, and Lesnar says "fuck you" to the crowd, literally, with the middle fingers. Also gives him a stunner. Him and Goldberg drink the beer. Lesnar sold that stunner.
That's something like how you gonna do that and then take a stunner?
Exactly. And then he drinks.
If I was him, I would have been like, nah, man. I would have picked him up and did an F5 if I know I was leaving.
Yeah. Oh, fuck that. Then Goldberg takes a beer with Stone Cold, and then he gets a stunner, and Goldberg sells that stunner bad.
He was like, that's what y'all won't get for leaving.
Yeah. And then so prime time, this has been a most hated match from a lot of people. Saying that people were saying he was probably the worst WrestleMania match. I'm not going that far. Trust me, I've seen worse. What is your take on the Goldberg Lesnar, the first match they had at WrestleMania 20?
I think people say it's bad because of the cluster that it was. Like, like you said, the test of strength and all that. Like, when people want a match between Goldberg and Brock, they want a match. They want a, hard hitting, body slamming, spearing, jackhammer, F5ing, suplexing match. But they didn't really get that. They just got, two dudes basically the Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, that's how it was. This is supposed to be a build to be a great match, and it did not turn out that way. And I really feel as though that kind of fucked it up. The stare down and the test of strength thing really fucked it up. For the most part, it really took them about 7 minutes to get started. And with that being said, the match is only 13 minutes long. And it's like, yeah, I understand it took a lot of people out of it, and then you hit the spots and everything, but both guys didn't care. I don't think it's the worst match, because honestly, I think that if you take the stare down out and the test of strength out, that's the match they should probably have at WrestleMania come up this year. But Goldberg can't even do that no more.
Yeah, especially that military press slam.
Yeah, he cannot catch Brock Lesnar. Like, cause back in the day, he used to pick him up over the head and then catch you and then slam you down. I'm just like,
definitely, he might as well not even try it.
he might be just be like,
hey, just Goldberg just work them holes. That's all you gotta do.
Exactly. So I don't know, but that's another video for another day, because we're on retro right now. So Goldberg defeats Brock Lesnar. Stone Cold free. It was a very disappointing match. I felt let down like I did with the Dean Ambrose Brock Lesnar match at WrestleMania 32.
Yeah.
Next up is another fatal.
Question though.
Sure. What's a quick question?
You know how in Madison Square Garden they used to have that same entrance area.
Yes.
How did you feel about them changing it around this time?
Well, yeah, like I said in the beginning of the review, they did change it around. I felt as though that I wasn't particularly fond of it, because when you're at Madison Square Garden, that's what makes it special. And them using that's how you can tell the WWE is in Madison Square Garden, when they come out that little side entrance right there, and they have those two sliding doors. That's what makes Madison Square Garden feel special to me. And I feel as though when you start changing it, it makes it feel, it's like you're trying to make it feel bigger. I'm just like, no, WrestleMania needs to do that. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, WrestleMania 1 and WrestleMania 10 was at Madison Square Garden. WrestleMania 10, when they came out, it was just like, bam, they came out from that little doorway. That's how you know it was Madison Square Garden. It was very intimate with the fans. Same thing with the first one. And same thing with Survivor Series 2002. Same thing with the Royal Rumble 2008. That right there, when they had the Titantron movie on the door and everything, like that's what makes it that Madison Square Garden feel. When they change it, because I know they just wanted to make more seats.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, they wanted to make more seats, but and on that doorway they did have like the whole title picture so people can see it. But I just felt as though that I would have liked it better if they kept it right there to have that pure Madison Square Garden feel to it. And even with WrestleMania getting as big as it is now, because right now, in honest opinion, it's too big to be in Madison Square Garden anymore.
Yeah.
It's way too big to be. You got people you got 100,000 people in last year's WrestleMania. So it's very, very huge, and you need people to come in. You want to fill that up, and Madison Square Garden doesn't hold as many people like that. So I do think that it's better. It was what it was. And they changed it. I didn't like the change, but it was what it was, kind of thing. I wish they would have kept it the same.
Okay.
And just like I wish they would have not just kept the same tag team formula the same, because we had the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team Championship match between Scotty 2 Hotty and Rikishi.
I want to say Team Angle deserves better than this.
Oh yeah, the Basham Brothers, the world's greatest tag team in the APA. Obviously, at this time, the APA was at its row because Bradshaw's going to become JBL later in the year. Farouk is obviously at his retirement stage. World's greatest tag team is, like, oh great, they need better. Rikishi and Sky Too High, I never liked that version of Too Cool. First of all, I never was a fan of Too Cool. Maybe the dancing, yes, but they weren't great. And
you look fly today.
The Basham Brothers had potential. They had potential. Rikishi, look, there's nothing really noteworthy here because this match was shorter than the Raw one. And Rikishi does a sit down on Danny Basham, one of the Bashams, or something. I don't know which one it is. 1, 2, 3. Too Cool retain. But a match that I did like, that did have some story behind it, was for the Women's Championship. We had Victoria versus Molly Holly. And if Molly Holly did not win, she would have to get her head shaved by Victoria. Why?
Shave that head.
Yeah. People may be wondering, why did Molly Holly have to get her head shaved by Victoria? Because, that doesn't make any sense. But here's the thing. Molly Holly throughout the past weeks have been attacking Victoria, and she's been pulling her by her hair, and they've been getting strands of Victoria's hair out. So Stone Cold says, well, you like to pull hair, huh? He said, well, WrestleMania, your hair is going to be on the line if you don't win the Women's Championship. So that's how that match happened. And it was a really good match. First of all, I'm a huge fan of Molly Holly and Victoria. I think Molly Holly is very underrated, and honestly, she should be in the Hall of Fame before Beth Phoenix should be. But I do understand, I understand you trying to get some headliners in there, but Molly Holly deserves to be in the Hall of Fame for all the things she has done for the women's division in those days, because she was one of the trainers of them.
I will admit though, Victoria does have a nasty Widow's Peak.
She does have a nasty Widow's Peak, but even in this match, the Widow's Peak is not what ends the match. Molly Holly loses off a roll-up. And Molly Holly she realizes she lost. She tries to run away. And then Victoria chases after her. Molly Holly attacks her from behind the curtain. And she hits her with some hairspray. And kind of temporarily knocks her out. And puts her in the chair. And she tries to shave her head. But the clippers are not working. And then I think somebody else comes out.
I think so.
I forgot. I don't know if it was another diva that came out anything, but Victoria gets the upper hand, slams Molly Holly's head on the table, and knocks her out. Then she puts her in the chair, and then Molly Holly gets her head shaved, and then as she comes to, as the hair is falling into her lap, and she is losing her mind, and Molly Holly is really shaved bald. I was shocked that they did that. I was really shocked they did it to Molly Holly, because in the weeks coming up, she came out there and wore that wig with that wrestling gear thing over it. It was just bad.
Like Angle.
Yeah, that's what she wore. So, but yeah, Victoria retains the Women's Championship. But speaking of championships, next up for the WWE Championship, Eddie Guerrero versus Kurt Angle.
Raw match.
You said what?
No, I don't know why. For some reason, I was thinking of Raw match.
Oh, you thinking of the wrong match? Well, obviously, Eddie Guerrero wins a battle royal to face Brock Lesnar at No Way Out, and Kurt Angle has been trying to help Eddie Guerrero all through his trials and tribulations with Chavo Guerrero, and how Chavo turned his back on Eddie. Eddie wins the championship, and then Kurt acts like he's proud of him. Then he turns on Eddie Guerrero and challenges him for a match at WrestleMania 20. And so this is Eddie Guerrero's first high-profile title defense at WrestleMania. So this is Eddie Guerrero's first big title defense on WrestleMania, and very technical matchup. Kurt Angle tells a great story about working on Eddie Guerrero's ankle because Kurt Angle has the ankle lock finishing move. So I enjoy like the belly to belly into the ropes and German suplexes, and Eddie Guerrero does his trifecta suplexes. Everything is just like really, really good. The match is like just great. I enjoy the Eddie Guerrero Kurt Angle matchup. These guys can really go at it and really wrestle. At the point, Kurt Angle puts the ankle lock on Eddie Guerrero, and when he finally reaches the ropes, because he was in it for a while, he tells the referee that he thinks his ankle is broken. So he takes off his wrestling boot, and it's just his sock there, and then, or actually he loosens it up, and then Kurt Angle says he goes for the ankle lock again, but Eddie Guerrero slips out of his shoe, and then he goes and rolls up Kurt Angle and has his foot locked on the bottom ropes. 1, 2, 3, lie, cheating, and stealing. Eddie Guerrero beats Kurt Angle with the one shoe. Kurt Angle is irate. I loved everything about this match. I love the moment. I love the lie, cheating, and stealing, because I do miss that from Eddie Guerrero. Primetime, your thoughts on this match?
I like the match. I like the story that is told at the end with the shoe thing. But the whole match, Kurt Angle, I can't really see him having a bad match because he's always great.
I mean, he knows how to have a good match with anybody, kind of.
Huh?
He does.
What you say?
I think he knows how to have a good match with anybody.
Oh yeah.
So.
And I liked it very much. Only thing, back then everybody was high on Eddie, so yeah. But Kurt Angle, I'm a big Kurt Angle fan, so maybe I'm just being biased.
I'm the huge Kurt Angle fan right here. Kurt Angle, Mark City. Just saying. So after that, we get a promo. We got the return of the Undertaker. Nobody has seen the Undertaker since Kane buried the Undertaker alive in 2003 at Survivor Series. Then all of a sudden at the Royal Rumble, the Undertaker's goes all gone, scares Kane, and he gets eliminated from the Royal Rumble, and he is pissed. He says, "I buried you alive. You're dead. You're not real." Okay. So then Kane says that he needs, to destroy the Undertaker, but Kane is like irate, and the Undertaker is going to return at WrestleMania. By this time, nobody sees the Undertaker. There's no promo. There's no nothing. This is how they need to treat the Undertaker. Kane comes out.
That year, Bray Wyatt.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Kane comes out. Or then because when Undertaker came back for Bray Wyatt, it was just so great seeing the Undertaker in daylight. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this is great. So Undertaker, Kane comes out and he says, "No, you don't exist." And then all of a sudden you hear the "Oh yes" from Paul Bearer, and then the gongs go out, then the droids come out, and then
I miss those droids.
Yes, light the fire, and then here he comes. Undertaker strikes a pose at the top, and then he just starts to slow walk down, and Kane
20-minute walk.
Exactly, because it was longer than the match. Kane is just shocked by everything. And then when Undertaker gets in the ring, he kind of like closes his eyes and is afraid to touch him. Then Undertaker starts just beating up Kane. And by the way, this was an interpromotional match. I forgot to mention that because there were 3 of those. The Sable and Tori Wilson and Stacey Keebler and Miss Jackie and the Goldberg Lesnar, those are both interpromotional matches. So this was the 3rd of our interpromotional Raw versus SmackDown matches on WrestleMania 20. Now, I love the build-up. And I love the entrance. I hated the match. The match was something special. Kane got his ass dominated. He chokes the Undertaker and puts his hands up like he won. The Undertaker does his sit-up. Kane gets destroyed. Tombstone Piledriver. 1, 2, 3. Undertaker destroys, literally destroys Kane for the second time in WrestleMania. Yep. For second time in WrestleMania history. And yeah.
That's like 50th time overall.
Exactly. So that's I hate the match. The match was not good at all. The match was just The entrance is better. It took longer, by the way, and then the video package was great, and the storyline leading up to that was great. But the match was not that good. Kane got dominated, and that's just basically what it was. Primetime, your thoughts?
Just like you said, I mean, I don't have nothing to add to that. I didn't really like the match. This is, I love the Undertaker, but this is one of those matches that you skip.
You skip it, all right. Oh, you gonna skip it today? So, so it's main event time, and this is the only time that I'm going to mention this man's name. But the main event is Triple H, the World Heavyweight Champion, versus Shawn Michaels versus Chris Benoit.
Wow.
Now,
right.
I can Chris Benoit this whole match, but it's going to take too long. I'm not going to act like this match never happened, because this was probably the best triple threat match in WrestleMania history. And the story is Chris Benoit won the Royal Rumble, and he was the first person to say, you know what, I don't want to go for the WWE Championship. I want to go for the World Heavyweight Championship on Raw. Back, when the World Heavyweight Championship actually mattered. So,
where has that went?
But then Shawn Michaels is like, At Survivor Series, me and Triple H both did not answer the 10 count during that last man standing match. So I have unfinished business with Triple H and that championship, because they was going through their whole rivalry in that year. So Eric Bischoff decides to make it a triple threat match at WrestleMania for the World Heavyweight Championship with Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and Chris Benoit. Now, honestly, as those guys as a person, that must have been awkward. You got to click, and you're the only eyeball in there. Now, this was a damn good triple threat match. I enjoy the double suplex that Triple H and Shawn Michaels gave Chris Benoit right through the announce table. That looked like it hurt. I don't know if you remember that or not. Shawn Michaels hits his head on the pole, and he is bleeding profusely on that. And he gets a couple good hits in, like super kick to Chris Benoit as he's giving Triple H the crossface, and you thought that he had it won, and he does not. I was like, I thought Shawn may have had it, but then Chris Benoit talks to Shawn outside the ring, and Triple H is in the crossface, and he tries to roll out of it, and Chris Benoit stays on that crossface, and then Triple H is selling it like he's about to pass out or he's losing air, and then he finally taps, and then Chris Benoit is your new World Heavyweight Champion. And a surreal moment looking back at it, Eddie Guerrero comes out as Chris Benoit celebrating, and they both hug, and they're legitimately crying in the ring. Confetti is coming down, and then Chris Benoit's son Daniel Benoit gets in the ring, and Nancy Benoit gets in the ring, and you sit there looking like, damn, he gonna kill y'all 3 years, and that's fucked up.
Dang.
That's really, because it looked surreal, and I'm just like, yo, he's about to fuck you up, and that's fucked
What's
up.
That move that you won with?
It's.
Alright, I'm done with the jokes.
Yeah, no, I can't be. I'm just saying, it was so surreal looking at it, and he's hugging his son saying, I love you, and Nancy Benoit, and I'm just like, what went wrong? And it's just like, really, what went wrong? And they celebrated with Eddie Guerrero because they was in the business together, and that's WrestleMania 20. It went an extra hour over. This was the first 5-hour WrestleMania. It was long, but it was a damn good WrestleMania. Primetime, your thoughts on this whole match, that whole moment at the end, and we're going to go into our grades.
I did one spot that I did like was the moonsault that Shawn Michaels did to both Triple H and Benoit.
Yes, I did like that. I forgot to mention that spot.
But yeah, that crossface is, he had to show everybody in his family crossface. But anyways, yeah, I like the one with Benoit and Guerrero together. It's a moment that we'll never ever see again on WWE television or at all.
At all, and I doubt, depending on what your belief is, if you cross over to the other side, there is a heaven. You ain't gonna see it there neither. Because I'm just saying,
hey,
yeah,
that will not be anywhere, not even.
Yeah. So it was surreal, but you know what? WrestleMania 20 was a good WrestleMania. minus the 2 tag team matches. I didn't like those matches at all. But I like the field, Madison Square Garden. I'm giving WrestleMania an A. What is your grade for it?
A. I was gonna give it a B.
Oh, really?
I mean, yeah.
Oh man,
some things I like very much. Some things were like okay to me. I'll give it a B plus.
Okay, that's fair. I could be grading it high because like I said, it was Madison Square Garden. I did love the opener. I love the main event. I love the Kurt Angle, Eddie Guerrero. I love the build to the Undertaker and Kane. The Cruiserweight Open match was...
didn't like the match.
Yeah, I didn't like the match. The Cruiserweight Open was unique. Maybe because they didn't have enough time for the Undertaker stuff because they had to go an extra hour, right? Chris Jericho and Christian was great. The Rock comes back and he's helping Mick Foley in the handicap match. So there was a lot of great moments in it that I truly did like in that match. The Victoria and Molly Holly match, Goldberg and Lesnar. I mean, the build tab was better than the match was, but I don't hate on the match as much as everybody else does. So, but with that being said, what are your thoughts on WrestleMania 20? Post in the comments below and let us know. These are the retro reviews. Any retro pay-per-view we can review for you, but right now during WrestleMania season, we're doing WrestleMania reviews. So make sure you get your WrestleManias in here if y'all want to review them. You never know, we may review all of them, or at least I know I probably will. But hopefully I plan to have a special guest on each review, and don't worry, we are going to do as a group WrestleMania 17, the greatest WrestleMania of all time. So post your comments down below, and Prime Time, let them know where they can find you, and let them know that Krispy Kreme only supposed to have glazed donuts.
See, what happened there was I tried a Power Rangers donut, and it wasn't to my liking. I just say it like that. But yeah, I do taste tests on some things, reactions, discussions. I even got theme song challenges. If you think your theme songs real well, come take a few. I got quite a bit.
All right, well then, also hopefully Primetime joins us for more WrestleMania reviews. So we got a lot in the bank. So we're going to be like What Culture. You're going to see something maybe every day. So who knows? So stay tuned for all the reviews of that nature, and it's going to be good. So once again, that is Primetime, and I am your host, Mr. A&E. And once again, don't forget about the old school. Keep it retro, everybody out there. Until next time for more WrestleMania reviews.